Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. I was kind of rushing, a little minute late there, but thank you for being patient. I love these little pop ups. So, got lots of questions today. I'm super excited to get into them. If this is your first time joining, I'm Betsy Grady. I work with the Akashic Records. I am doing this, you know what, honestly, because I love it and I want to share it. And I really want people to know what it's like, to seek this kind of guidance and tap into the wisdom that's out there for all of us 24/7. So, thanks for showing up today. And whether you're live with me now or catching it later, it's all good. So, what I do is read the prayer out loud. There's an Akashic prayer. So if you ever have an Akashic reading with anyone, they should always start with the prayer. I use the traditional one. And you'll get to experience today what it's like to have a session with me, just one on one. This is like a full on conversation, except I won't answer your questions unless I see them pop up here. I have questions that were emailed to me. I'm always going to do those first. It's easy to have them in all one place. And then if we have time, I will get to the questions that are submitted while we're live today. So if you like, let yourself relax. Just close your eyes. I'm going to read the prayer. If you can sit in a comfortable place and let your hands be up and open, I always recommend that because that puts you in a receptive state. So, and always watch for some little nudge during this time when I read the prayer and take time to connect. See if anything just pops in your mind that, gosh, you wish you would have sent this question in, or you're wondering about something. And because what will happen is the guides know who needs to be here, who's going to be here. They know what questions need to be asked. And somehow or another, your question's going to get answered, which is just so super cool. Okay. Hi, Meryl. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Ready. Okay. I ask God if He will have His shield of love and truth around you permanently, so only God's love and truth will exist between you and me. I allow the masters, teachers, and loved ones of you to channel through me out of whatever realm to say whatever they wish. I ask the permission of the Lords of the Akashic Records, so I'm able to look into the records of you and remove whatever information I'm allowed. Okay, let's see here. I'm just waiting 1 second. I want to see where the guides want to start. Like, what's a general message for them? Okay, here, let me see. There, it's so funny. There is like so much they could talk about. Let me see where we're going to start. Okay, well, it's so interesting. Today is August 1st. It's the first day of a new month. And that energy carries with it kind of like the New Year energy, that January 1st, New Year's Day. And you can, every single month when we hit that first day, it's like you don't get a do-over, but it's like you get that rush of fresh energy. Like, gosh, what is August going to be like for me? And what do I want to see happen in August? And so they would have you look at it with that same enthusiasm that you do on the new year. And what do you want August to be about for you? And what would you like to see happen, in your life? And you know what? If you're not really sure, that's something you can just ask your guides. What would be something for me to want to manifest this month? And then just kind of be open to whatever ideas pop in your head. And they may not right away, but they might in the next day or two or three. So your guides are listening. And if you need a little assistance, they are more than happy to give you that assistance. And It could be an idea that drops in your head. It could be a sign that you see you've never seen before driving down the road and you're like, that's it. Or it could be somebody calls you and says, hey, I'm trying this new thing. And you're like, oh, that's it. That's what I want. Anyway, just be open to that. And they said to keep this simple, and manifesting or dreaming or just being open to receiving their messages is not complicated. And they said the most important thing is to trust, because something in you somewhere or another is resonating, and it's just, there's a feeling around it. It's when the mind gets in, when maybe the doubt starts to show up and questions things, and I'm not sure. When you get to that place, the mind's in there, so just drop it at that point and see if you can get back to that original just state of openness. So, they are also, now I sent out a newsletter today for those of you that didn't get it. One of the things, speaking about August, is a powerful manifesting month. Powerful. Not only, do we have, today's the 1st, and we have the whole month ahead of us. We have a new moon. And the belief with the new moon is that whatever you wish for on a new moon will come to pass on next month's full moon. So that would be in September. So the other thing is, well, I always like to say wish upon a star. And because it's a new moon, the sky is dark and there's just going to be a ton of stars out there this weekend. And meteor showers are going on right now, too. So it's really cool. And then next week is the Lionsgate portal. And now I'm not an expert that I can really speak intelligently on that, but there's stuff out there on the web that you can find. Yet, again, it's another powerful manifesting time. And 8 is the number of infinity. It is the number of abundance. And so on August 8th is when we're actually in the portal. It's already started. So the energies are already rallying behind you to support you in your dreams and your desires. Let's see here. This is also a Leo moon, which might sound contradictory because Leo is ruled by the sun. So it just gives that extra punch of energy. So it's a really, really powerful weekend. Leos are all about joy, play, happiness, shining bright. And so really, harness this energy and have fun with it. Hang on here. So the other thing is, today we are looking at, we're past the halfway mark of 2024, and they would also have you really think about 2025. And when you're hitting that end of the year and we're looking at the new year of 2025, if you look back on this year, what are some things that you want to be glad that happened? Or what are some things that you can look back and already say, I'm grateful for this, this, and this? And and if you don't have those yet, the guides would encourage you to really sit and go through each month. And even if it's been, pardon my language, a shitty year, because things happen, they do, and life is not always fun and easy. Yet even in those things, something positive comes out of it. Some shift in you, some awareness in you, some surrender in you. And so even in those things, look for something to be grateful for. Gratitude is a wonderful energy to immerse yourself in. And even if you got up today and you're feeling really heavy, and maybe you look at your life and nothing's where you want it to be, and it feels like a struggle to say you're grateful for something, the guides would have you just start really simply with, I'm grateful I can breathe, or I'm grateful my eyes work, I'm grateful I have my eyesight, or I'm grateful that I can hear, and I'm grateful that I can hear music, I can play what I want to play. So think of little things like that. Appreciate even all of the senses that you're gifted with. And it might be you're just grateful for the kitty cat sitting next to you, or the little puppy that's got his head, on your lap. It might be you're grateful that you saw a butterfly, um, fly by your window. Keep it simple. It's those little things that start the momentum, if that makes sense. And remember, when we're focusing on something, what we focus on expand. And if we're in the energy of something, the more we're in the energy of it, the more it grows. And energy is always attractive. It's sending and receiving. That's just what energy does. And so you control your energy. And so when you don't feel like you can change it, they said start small. Be easy about this and let the momentum build, because sooner or later, even if it takes your whole month of August is about practicing gratitude. Even if it just takes that whole month to finally feel like you've broken out of it, let that be okay. Let August be that month for you. So, yeah, they are just saying they are listening. They hear you. They are answering you. So be curious and trust what's coming. And when you get into doubt, fear, worry, anything like that, a mind loop like that, you're just in your head. You've gotten out of that space of receiving. So, okay. What a great opening message. All right. Hi. Oh, there, Idaho's on today. Nice to see you. Okay. Let me see. All right. Okay, you guys joining me live. I start with my questions that got emailed to me. So let me go here real quick. So I've got quite a few today. I want to try and get them. I know I try and keep the shows like to an hour, just to be respectful of everybody's time. And I know how hard it is to sit and commit to a whole, time here. But we'll do what we can do, okay? All right, first question. After months of working on myself, I'm feeling strong enough to deal with my rental property that my family is living in, but I'm not sure what exactly to do with it or them. Okay, well, you know what? The guides are applauding you for getting to this place. And so, whatever work you've been doing to get there and to have clarity around that is fabulous. And if you've been doing some work in particular, keep doing it. They are saying that the most important thing is that you have clarity, and you have clarity now that you want to do something with the house. So what's next to come is what you want to do with the house and what you see for yourself with it. And then the family will be handled. So what I'm hearing is to, out of this equation, drop off worrying about the family right now and really reach for the clarity around your house and what you want to do with it. So do you want to sell it? Do you want to rent it out to somebody else where you could possibly make a little bit more bank, maybe? What I am hearing to tell you, the path of least resistance would be in selling it. And that would kind of solve the situation with your family too. I would like to think maybe they could be in a position to buy it, but I don't think they will yet. It just feels like you have to make that decision for you. And when you're really clear about, gosh, that feels right. And if something in you softened when I just said sell it, then really trust that. That's what I mean. There's a resonance in there somewhere of what you really want and need. And when you have clarity around that, it'll be easy to move forward. And that is a simple conversation that we've decided, for the health and wealth of our family, our mental health, emotional health, whatever that might be, financial health. We've decided we need to sell this house. And we want to give you X amount of time to, figure something out. And you may be really lenient and say, January 2025, it's going on the market. So, and if that feels right to you, go with that and just trust. Whatever decision you make for yourself that feels like it's in your highest and best is always going to serve everybody else. And you cannot worry about how your decision affects their experience, because they're going to be reacting and processing it from their own lenses, from their own personal stories in their head. So they're not going to look at things the way you do. Nobody will. And that's why guides use you to co-create with others. And they may need this push. They may need to reach for an expanded version of themselves. And by you wanting to get the house back in your control or selling it or whatever you want, you're giving them an opportunity to reach for a different experience and to find some strengths and things they might not have even known were there. So remember that. You never know how your decision is going to positively impact another. And it's like the guide said earlier, even when shitty things happen, like that, your family may respond like, this is really shitty. They will still, a year from now, find themselves in a different and better situation. And they'll be able to look back and say, that was the best thing that happened. How many of you had that experience yourself? So just remember that. Follow your heart. Thank you for asking that. Okay. I would like, excuse me, I would like to ask my guides for help in the process of surrendering and releasing a dream that has clearly died. The guidance was to surrender it, release it, be happy for them, and to know that this is finally making room for the new to come in. I do believe that's true. However, during this time between the surrender and the new coming in, they still pop into my head, and the emotions of disappointment and sadness creep in. I'm afraid that being unable to completely forget and release the dream is still blocking the new from coming in. Can my guides further help me with this? Thank you. Okay, let's see here. Well, you are right in the sense, I don't want to say you can block it from coming in, because the guides are still going to try and send something in. It's just if you can see it or not. And when we are looking at something that once was, or we're looking at something with a longing, then the energy that we've just immersed ourselves in is, I don't have it, or I'm longing. I'm going to keep longing, and I'm longing in every part of my life at some point. And hang on here. They understand there's sadness in that for you. And they want you to understand that the sadness you're feeling will be equally weighted by the joy you feel in the new coming in. Okay, so hang on here. So how do you stay in this space in between, before that's balanced out? Because right now, scale's feeling like it's pretty much tipped down there with sadness. So how do you start to balance that out, to lighten that load a little bit? Okay. Well, they are telling me to tell you, this is so interesting, and we could probably all take a lesson here. And I'm really surprised, but they are telling me to tell you to get off social media for 1 month. Let it go. And what you'll find is how much time you spent there. And at first, it's going to be weird because, social media is just like another addiction for so many of us. And it'll be hard because you don't know what to do with that time. But what will happen is you do find things to do with that time. And what you're finding too is that you really are spending time with yourself in a clear and present way. And you're not looking, at all the social media and things and wishing for yourself or longing for yourself or longing for something. So they said that would be one thing they would do. They're giving you practical step there. Okay, here. They are also telling me to tell you, this is so funny. They said they would take them and they would write the names on a piece of paper, fold it up, maybe put a little heart sticker on it or something, and put it in your freezer. And that's another way of freezing the energy around it, freezing it from being in your experience. And it's like you're just putting it all on pause. I'm getting off social media. I'm freezing these names. I don't even want to think about it or enter it into my equation. And so part of it they're saying is you have to have some healthy boundaries around yourself and what's healthy for your mind, what's healthy for your emotions, what's healthy for your spirit. And so they would erect some of these boundaries right now. And give yourself time and space to surrender. Some people can surrender in a day. They can make that brain just go, "Yep, I'm doing it," and some people can't, and that's okay. It's we're all different. It's kind of like grieving. We all grieve differently, and they are saying for you, take your time with surrender. Don't expect it to happen in a day, because remember, the brain is really powerful, and if it's got a neural pathway that's firing up, or you got a loop in that brain, you can't just flip the switch and then do it. And so it takes time. But they are saying healthy boundaries first around your mental and emotional health, spiritual health, and so get off social media, all that stuff. Hang on here. They are telling me that there's a few people in your life that you have been drawn to and that you've been able to imagine for yourself as a life partner. And they would have you kind of, this is so funny, do a composite sketch of those people into one and realize that you can have that. And what you're looking for is out there. What the guides are saying, what you've been looking for, though, is small compared to what's available. And so they would have you kind of do a composite, make a list, or even just visualize, I like this about this person, this person, this person, and put all that together. And trust that that can be in your experience. And that will give you something hopeful to look forward to. You've not met this person yet. So the person that makes up the composite, if that makes sense. Okay, here. They are also telling me, excuse me, that looks like there's a walking group or something around you. It just looks like there's a couple little groups, no charge really to be a part of, that would be nice for you to explore. And so for you, it's about new experiences and moving towards those. And a long time ago, meetup.com was like a big deal, and there were things going on all over the place. Well, it's still going. People are still using it, and there are groups on there for like Labrador retrievers or golden retrievers, or your dog breed, and they meet up together and walk their dogs. Anyway, just look out there and just put some searches in there of things that might be thing you'd be interested in. So could be dinner parties. I saw a group. Was it vegetarian diners near me, and it was people getting together and at different houses and bringing vegetarian dishes just to share. Um, so it's all kinds of things out there. But take a look, and just my favorite quote. I would say of the last week or 2 weeks that's been coming through is life begins at the edge of our comfort zone. And that's really what you want. So you got to be willing to be uncomfortable to get those scales to balance. And then to get those scales to tip in the favor you want it to. Okay. Thank you for asking that. Okay, hang on here. All righty. Do you see anything for my daughter who is at the tail end of a divorce? She is unsure where she wants to live, and also with work, she's not sure whether to stay in marketing or choose another job. Okay. All right, let's see here. You know what? Divorce is a big change. Moving, marriage, changing careers, they're all big changes. And the guides are saying to go for it all. They want her to go for it all and to really not only use this time to create like a new life for herself, just being, unmarried, uncoupled with this person, but really to use this time to almost like reinvent how she wants to be here. And so I would say new job, new place to live is all on tap for her. And what the guides are telling me is that clarity will come. They're not going to give answers on that today because they want her to just be open to receive that everything's going to change first, and that she will move, and that a new job is in her highest and best interest. And it may be related. The job may be related to where she moves to. But they are saying for her to be open to that and just know that good things are on the horizon for her. The same thing, life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. And so, yeah, they're kind of giving her a little push, shove to move towards that and be open to all of it. For some reason, I don't know where your daughter lives or anything. I just keep getting pulled out west, like Colorado. So I don't know. I'd be kind of curious. I hear Idaho's a pretty awesome place for you, Samantha, that joined in today. And but you never know. But I am getting pulled further that way. So I would say west from where she is. How about that? Okay. Thank you for asking that. Okay. I am wondering when would be the best time to make a move, purchase a home. And any thoughts on what state and city would be best? Okay. All right, let's see here. I am hearing to tell you you have two options. They're showing September, which is right around the corner. And if you don't make September, to wait till March for some reason. So, hang on 1 second here. They are showing me, I would say, the southeast region of the country. So I am looking at Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, almost that little trio of states. Could be where they all come together. Could be Chattanooga, could be, I don't know if you've ever heard of Murphy, North Carolina. Here, but it feels, Chattanooga is not small, but it kind of feels it compared to other big cities. So that's what I'm hearing. It just feels like where that triad, those three states are, is a place for you to look. Maybe that's why they said if you don't do it by September, go in March, because the winter season, like you might get a little snow where you're going. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. Okay, here we go. I'm at a major crossroad right now and I'm seeking advice. We had to place my husband in a long term rehabilitation. Unfortunately, he was placed in another city because of lack of beds. I was hoping to hear if there's any advice for me. Okay. Well, that's got to be tough and such a big change. Another, it's not a divorce, but gosh, having it's pretty momentous for you. So, really, the guides would like for you to acknowledge that first. This is big stuff you're dealing with. So, be easy about it. Be kind to yourself. And when you're navigating uncharted waters, you can't be a perfectionist and you can't know all the answers. And you just that's where you got to surrender. Like, I'm going through this for a reason. It was by divine design that he was put in another state. You have to remember that. And so part of you just really does have to trust. And here, it's kind of interesting. I would be open to, what is this leading you to? Is it leading you to move? Are you meant to be in another state? Are you meant to be where there's more available to you? So I would be kind of curious about that. Like, why are you having this experience? And what are you learning from it? What is it teaching you? What are you discovering about yourself and about this journey? And they're saying like physical journey, like driving there. Um, I'm hearing to tell you he's in a good place, um, where he needs to be. Here. And I'm also hearing this is a time for you, uh, not for him, just to rehabilitate in whatever way that is, but almost like you too. It's like this is your rehabilitation also. And it's almost like you get to hit the reset button and really get back to, you know, who am I? What do I want? How do I want to be here? If I looked at where I was when I was 20 and where I am now, is that 20-year-old me still in there that's excited about all the opportunities that are laid out there? And is there something in that you can reach for and grasp and bring back into your experience? Like that part of you that was optimistic, maybe, or knew you could go a million different directions with your life. That part of you is still active, and it would be nice for you to really reconnect with that. And so, what I'm hearing is you've kind of just gotten into this groove of the circumstances of your life, of the environment you've been in, and it's almost like you don't realize it, but now you're realizing it, and you have an opportunity to shake it up a little bit, even more. I mean, it's already getting shaken up because your husband is, in another state right now. And it's meant for you to keep shaking things up. And when we're at a crossroads, think of this as a railroad sign, crossroad, railroad crossing. And I want you to really think of that as this is a time of endings, because I'm going to cross those tracks. I am going to move forward. And I just have to acknowledge that I'm at a crossroads. I don't know which decision to make. And I may not make the right one, but really, you can't really make a wrong one. I'll say that. Because anything you choose, you're going to be supported. And you're still going to find your way to where your heart really wants to be, your soul really wants to go. So remember, endings come first. So you're at this crossroads. It's what we call the stage of endings, and the next stage is called disintegration or disruption. It's where things fall apart as we know them, which you're kind of in now. So I would say you're past the crossroads already. And when you're in this stage, things are a little messy, maybe chaotic, disorganized, however, whatever that is, hard. It could be any and all of that. The stage after this is transformation. And that's where, Okay, finally, things are, breaking wide open. There's a sense of freedom. There's a sense of light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. So, now I'm talking about stages of life that we go through, and that we cycle around and cycle around. And they can last 3 to 4 months, as we move through them. So, again, be patient. Um, but if you're in that phase of disruption, it's hard to see what transformation is going to look like. Yet, they are telling me to go back for some reason, age 20 for you. And what was on your mind then? What were you holding in your heart then? Because there's something there that is ready to come back and be a part of your experience. So that part of you, or a dream you had, or I'm not sure what that is for you, but it really feels like the 20 mark they said to go back to. Okay. Thank you for asking that. Okay, here we go. What message do the guides have to offer for a recurring narrative that carries negativity? I experienced a moment last night in a meeting where a person spun a situation to express negativity and skewed what the truth of what actually happened. As I'm writing this, I'm getting messages and realize it is energy I have to continue to clear for myself. I would love to dive deeper into the messages from the guides. See, now talk about awareness. It's so cool to be really aware like that. Like you are recognizing there's a pattern. And so when we keep getting negative people in our lives and they keep coming, keep coming, keep coming in whatever fashion, you have to look at that and say, is there somewhere in my life I'm being negative? Or maybe not negative, but maybe in this particular case, this person who spun the story around, they got your guides want you to ask yourself, is there a story you're telling yourself that's skewed, that's not accurate? And what is that story you're telling yourself about something? Because it's serving you in some way. So, what I'm hearing about this other person is that they tend to live in a world where things are always stirred up and there's always something, always something, always something. And it kind of feels like that victim energy. When somebody's got victim energy, it's like they're just always dealing with problems, traumas, troubles. I mean, something's always going wrong or something's always not quite right. And um, so whatever that is for that person, now I'm not hearing you have the victim energy or anything like that going on. Yet victims tend to see the world as an unsupportive place to be, and that they have to confront and address and fight, and just whatever to get their way or to get treated fairly, whatever that is that they need. And so what the guides would say, if you're attracting a lot of that into your life where people are just spun out or telling those stories, they said what they would not only would they say what story you're telling yourself that you believe is true that's really not. Hang on here. They are saying, where do you feel unsupported by the universe? And where do you really need more support in your life? And because that, they said, if you're feeling unsupported, that could be the story that you're telling yourself that's not true. They said that's not it, but that's how they want you to look at it because you are very supported. Give me a second. By the universe, by the divine. So hang on here. They are also saying, aside from spinning a tale, or they said people like that don't hesitate to speak up and stand their ground or ask for what they want. And they said, where in your life do you need to do that? And so if you took that experience and thought, gosh, I wish I was more comfortable speaking my mind, or because you're going to speak it not in an aggressive way like this person, but they're just saying, where could you be more supportive of yourself, assertive with your needs and desires? So this is kind of work for you. There's some areas that they're saying you're moving towards, like you have dreams out there for sure, and you can see them. And what they're saying is you're kind of moving, I don't want to say timidly towards those dreams, yet it's cautiously. That's a really good word. It's like, I'm just going to take my time. I'm moving towards these dreams. And it's being very aware of what's in the environment around you as you're moving on this path. And your guides are saying, you know what? Put on your running shoes and start walking a little faster. And don't worry about what's in the wake of you moving faster. So think of a boat going through the water, and maybe you're on a canoe and you're just kind of paddling. Like, I'm just going to be calm about this. I'm just going to slide through this water. I know I'm going somewhere. I can see where I'm going, but I'm going to take my time. The guides are saying, put a freaking electric motor on that canoe and turn it on. And don't worry about what happens to anything in the water swimming, anything on the banks, or anybody you might pass by. You might pass a kayaker that gets a little bit of a bumpy ride, but you know what? They'll love it. And so the guides are saying, pick up pace, pick up pace. I think that's so cool. So this person has a lot of energy, but not a lot of clarity. You have both. And it would be neat for you to really marriage those two and take off. That's what they said. Take off. Like you need that attitude to get going. Does that make sense? And it's not negative. It's positive. It's exciting. It's honoring yourself. It's like, wait a minute, I am everything I need to be. I've got everything I need. I am the creator of my universe. I'm in charge here. And this is what I want my life to look like. Damn it. And that's what I'm going to get. So that's what they're saying. Put the electric motor on, kick that up, create some wake, let people deal with what they're supposed to deal with on the other side of that. Remember, you're being invited to co-create with others. And when you make a decision that has ripple effects, that's on purpose. That is on purpose. So this will be really fun to see what August does for you, because it really feels like light bulbs are going off and you get it, and you're going to make some decisions and not look back. It's super exciting. So you'll have to tune back in at the end of August and give us an update. Okay. Here we go. And let's see, I've got 2 more to read here, and then you guys, I will hop on over. Okay. Question for you regarding my current full-time job. I absolutely love my job, but I'm nervous about the upcoming semester due to a difficult person I have to work closely with. Any advice for this? Also, there have been some opportunities open in addition to full-time job. Any advice for the opportunities and all things career? Oh gosh, isn't that so funny? Your question's on the heels uh, of the other one that was with someone kind of negative. You've got a difficult person you're working with. So sometimes, and this is what's cool, and I love that these 2 questions are back to back, because this answer is going to apply to the previous question also. Love it. They are saying sometimes negative people show up in our lives because they are closed doors. And so if we're happily going about our way, we're on our little path, and we're thinking we're just going to continue on this path. Sometimes somebody comes in. Now, in your case, that just asked this question, you've got a difficult person you work with on a regular basis. And you could do the self work around that and explore it and see who this person represents in your life. What are you supposed to, learn, understand, blah, blah, blah. But I'm hearing that's not the case this time, and that it really is an opportunity, like you used that word, to really consider, do I want to do this anymore? Even though you love your job, it's like go out on the high note and find something else that's going to be even more exciting. And so when you're in this place and you love what you're doing, yet it's starting to become a little bit of a drag, you don't want to stay there long enough that you hate going or you hate your job. And in this case, I am hearing, because I get this question often in sessions. The answer is different for people, like, oh, that person's going to leave, don't worry about it, short time, or you're meant to do the personal work around it. But for you, I'm hearing, start to look at this as the doors closing. And I would say your time there is beginning to wane. Um, and that may be a little jarring to hear because I know how much you love it, yet you're already aware of other opportunities around you. And I would say there's something you've already lined up with that's in your radar, that you've an opportunity you found or that's come your way that could really turn into something more than you might think. So I would be open to change right now. And I would say go out on a high note where you're still in that energy of, I love my job. I love my job. I just want to do something that I love even more. And is that even possible? And I'm hearing, yes, it is. It is. It's right around the corner for you. So be open to moving towards that. So the only thing that will delay that from kind of landing in your lap, kind of like the person that asked about uh, surrendering so new could come in, as far as like a person, the only thing that could delay it is not being open to receive it, or I'm going to wait till that door closes so much that it's impossible for me to get it back open. So if you could already be in that energy of, I love my job, if I've attracted this job, oh my gosh, what can I attract next? My next job is going to be even greater. That's the way to think about it, and just be open to that, and you'll start to see a little movement there. Okay. Okay. Here's one more. All right. I would love for you to take a look at my housing situation. What I'd like to know is if it is secure here long term, or if there's something different or maybe bigger that I will have and permanently to spend my later life in. Maybe a different country, but settled. By bigger, I really mean even more in nature and secluded than I already am. Let's see here. It's not clear to me whether I'm on my own in my place here or with others or animals as I age. I would like to put my energy towards creating what's most realistic. Okay. Gosh, a lot of questions about housing today. A lot. That's really cool. All right, let me see here what this means for you. Okay. I'm hearing you're going to be where you are for a little bit longer. I wouldn't say it's your permanent place, but there's something you're meant to, I would say, what they're showing me is so cool. I love the analogies that the guides bring in. They're showing me like a chicken who's laid an egg, or a hen that's laid an egg, and the little chick is in the egg and it's still forming. And so there's something about you being in this house is almost like being in that egg, and you're just not ready to break through and start pecking at it with your beak and be in the world in a different way. And so you that want you to, where you are, understand that the house you're in really is like an eggshell. I hope you're not having to walk on eggshells while you're in that house, because gosh, that would be really poignant. But that's the analogy they're using. So there might be some truth to that. And I hate that for you. Yet at the same time, that's, again, you're living with a situation where there might be a difficult person around you, where you might be working on eggshells. Like this person that asked the previous questions having to go to work and walk on eggshells. For you, in your case, it is meant to be in that eggshell a little bit longer, because what I'm hearing is that you're really getting to a place where you almost feel so powerless that you just like, oh, I've got to have my power and I've got to make changes. It's like that part of you is waking up. And when that happens, your little beak's going to start pecking through that shell, and you're going to be ready to like get out there and be in the world in a different way. But I would say you might be in this house, could be 2 more years. That's at the most, I would say. And it really is about what you need to embrace within you that gives you all the power, energy, and strength you need to break through that shell. So that's where your work is right now. After that, yeah, there will be a move. There will be a different house. Another country is a strong possibility, but I don't have clarity on that yet. So that's interesting. Hopefully that was helpful to you. Okay. All right, you guys, thank you, thank you, thank you for being so patient. Let's see here. Okay, I have a question for you if you have time. My son took his law school bar exam this week. Can you tell me what his future will be? Okay, let's see here. See if I can get anything on that for this. Okay. Let me see. Give me 1 second here. You know what? I can't quite tell, but I feel like he passed it. If he didn't this time, he will the next time. I'll say that. But it does feel like he's going to move into that lawyer experience and have that lawyer life. I would say that's going to shift and change for him a little bit, but not that he's not going to be a lawyer, but I would say this: there's something he'll have, looks like 2 careers. So one might be, in a law firm, with law partners, things like that. And then there's another career after that. I would say it's going to draw on his legal expertise, his experiences, but it feels a little bit more creative. Might work for a private company in some way. I don't know what that's about. Or might do, I can't quite tell, but I would say he's going to have 2 careers. They feel like long careers. One of the things their guides are telling me is that he could use a little bit more balance in his life. And they're saying, and I guess anybody in law school, they're going to be driven, but him in particular, and that he needs to make time to play. There's something around water for him. I don't know if that's surfing. I don't know if it's just swimming, or just taking vacations to the water, or being out on a boat. Just feels like he needs to make time for water to be a part of his experience. And he's really going to need that balance in his life. That would be really supportive as he embarks on this new journey. Okay. Thank you for asking that. Okay. Here we go. I want to change my career. What should my best next steps be? Okay. I'm going to change my career. All right, let's see here. All right, let me see here. So, you know what? This too, they said, I love this answer that's coming, getting ready to come through. They could give you practical steps to take. Yet they're not going to do that at the moment. They would like for you to figure out where you want to be, what you want to be doing. And if that you don't even know, they said take a total departure from what you're doing now. And that may seem crazy, like, well, I can't just leave this career without having one to go to. Right. Yet they're saying it's it's like you might decide, you know what, I'm just going to go work in a little coffee shop for a while until I figure out what I want to do. And it's like taking yourself out of the environment you're in so that clarity can happen for what you want to do. The other thing is, if you already know what you want to do, they said just go for it. You know, we often limit ourselves by thinking we need to have this degree, we need to have this training, we need to have this experience, we need to have this on our resume. Uh, and the guides are saying that is not accurate. And now, if we think that, then we're limiting ourselves, and that's being reflected in our energy. Yet, if we know that's what we want to do, even though we don't know why, we don't have any experience in it, that energy of seeing yourself in a different situation is all you need. And it's the belief in that energy. And you'd be surprised at what that lines up for you, if that makes sense. So it's almost like if you see a job and you want that job, you don't have any experience, you know what? It doesn't matter. And you will find a way, they will find a way to get you into that place. Now, if it's really not the right fit, it's like those doors just close. This is not easy. Yet, what I'm hearing to tell you, trust in the energy of what resonates for you, and trust and what job really like stands out to you, experience or not. And remember, it's your energy that is lining up with it. It is not what's on paper. It's the energy. So it might be in the cover letter you send. I have no experience, yet everything about this sounds right up my alley and what I've dreamt about forever. And I may not have the experience here, but I have accomplishments galore in my other, uh, positions or careers or whatever. And I know that pattern will continue, you know, with this job, with this company. Does that make sense? So um, I know that's kind of vague, uh, yet I would tell you this too. Feels like February, March, spring of next year, where you'll really be serious about that and attract that new job and find yourself doing something totally different. So remember, success is a vibration. Confidence is a vibration. So just think about how successful you've been so far. And that's what matters, because that's what you're taking with you. You have the ability to learn and adapt and master any environment you're in. And that's really what's going to take you to that next place. Does that make sense? Next career. So gosh, we could all really think about that question and that answer. So thank you for asking that. And hopefully that was helpful to you. All right. Will I regain my independence in the next few months? Okay. I would say yes. It feels like before the end of the year. So, yeah, keep holding on to that vision. See it for yourself. Live as if you already have that independence, or like where you're going to be and what you're going to be doing. Um, But I'm hearing it is close. It's within arm's reach, and yes, you will have your independence. And what I'm also hearing is that you will guard that so fiercely, and that will become so important to you that you'll really have healthy boundaries from now on and going forward. And with that comes healthy relationships. And like you're never going to give your independence away again. Doesn't mean you don't know how to be uh, in relationship. The relationship's not about being dependent, you know. Um, and that's what you'll get to experience on the other side of that whenever you choose. Could be another year, 2 years, 5 years. I'm not sure yet, but yes. And be grateful that this happened because you've learned that it's really important to take care of yourself, and it's really important to not lose yourself, and it's really important to be in partnerships, you know, um, partnerships where we are partners. So I would say that's coming for you. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh, here's a question. I want to learn a little bit more about the Lion's Gate. Is there somewhere I can go to learn about it? You know what? I sent out in my newsletter today. Hang on one second. And I think the link, might not have included it, but there is, I'm going to tell you where to go. There's a really great article. Our So Google this for the Lionsgate portal article. I thought it was pretty good. Covered a lot of stuff. So it's rush.com. So Rush, it looks like a horoscope kind of thing. RUSSH Lions Portal. I would put that in your or Yahoo search, whatever you use, and come to that article. It's pretty good article. Talks about how you can actually use the energy of it too. It's not super long. If you can't find it, send me an email and I'll just pop that link over to you. Okay. I love the Lionsgate portal, and I'm excited to learn more about it myself. My parents actually got married on the Lionsgate portal. Of course, they had no idea. I still think that's pretty cool. Okay. All right, let's just see. We're going to wrap up here. I can't thank you enough for sending in your questions today. It's so curious. Now, in my work, when I get to do things like this and I get multiple questions like this, I always look for themes. And I just think it's so funny that we're talking about moving and houses and new careers. And now I'm not going to get a new career because I do really love what I do. And I can do it from anywhere. So I can live anywhere, and I'm always open to new experiences, new places. So I'm kind of curious. That has been a real theme for us today. And for all of you joining in, it might be a theme for you too. So be open to that. Like, okay, that might be one sign, but if 7 people asked a question, that's got a bit of a substance there to really consider. So I'll just be curious. Is that something I might have to look forward to, and moving and being in a different place? I would totally welcome that. My husband and I actually had a conversation about it this morning, so I just think that's so funny. But I will keep you posted. And for those of you joining in, I would say same thing. Be open to what's on repeat in your life. Be open to how many people talk about the same thing or something similar, and you're like, gosh, I might need to think about that. See how the questions today that came up apply to your life, and how you can use these answers to just make August what you want it to be, and be okay with that, and keep it simple. Yeah, keep it simple. This does not have to be complex or complicated. So What a great group today. Wonderful energy. Thank you all so much for sending in your questions and being here. And thanks for being interested in this and what happens in the Akashic Records. So I look forward to next week. I have not looked at my schedule. Let me see here. It will probably, oh, you know what? It's probably going to be Tuesday, the 6th. Yeah, I will put that out on Instagram or Facebook, or might be another newsletter. But we'll definitely do a pop up next week too. So y'all stay tuned. Have a great week. Enjoy the stars this weekend, and I'll see you. Okay, bye.